Today, we launch our welfare reform bill. There is, if you like, a simple deal here. If you are vulnerable and in need, we will look after you. And if you hit hard times, we will give you unprecedented support. But in return,
we will make sure that those who are ready for work are available for work.
It's just this constant being like in limbo.
It's a fine art to survive on the bare minimum. Once these sanctions come into place and they take that away from you, you've got no chance.
sanctions for those who abuse the system, real help for those who need it.
I feel like I'm being punished because of my health. And that's the best way I can put it into words, is being punished.
The last year and a half has seen a hard-fought three-way battle over welfare reform between campaigners, government and unions. Ministers have insisted throughout that the vulnerable would be protected. But The Guardian has seen a memo from senior job centre management that acknowledges the changes are impacting vulnerable claimants. An email they sent to job centre staff a month ago warns of the difficult changes that vulnerable customers may take some time to accept and adjust to. It goes on to say that a DWP customer recently attempted suicide. This was said to be the result of receiving a letter telling him his employment and support allowance was going to stop. Julie Carwadine received the same letter from the DWP about her benefit.
Telling me that according to the new government guidelines, I was no longer allowed any employment support allowance from the 30th of the 4th of the 12th. This is due to me receiving this for 365 days and as part of the working group, and therefore I'm no longer entitled to it at all.
Barely a month earlier, she had won a tribunal which she thought entitled her to keep her money.
So the 27th of February I'd won my tribunal, and on the 20th of March I was told that I was going to lose my money.
And when did it stop?
It took effect from the 30th of April, and I haven't had any money since. To be told that you've got better after 365 days, when actually I'm getting worse, it just beggars belief.
The change affects those with a working partner. Julie's partner, who earns around £800 a month, must now support her and her two daughters.
The reason I'm calling, I'm going to certainly try to make a payment this week because I'm starting to fall behind again. But I was on employment support allowance, and they've taken it off me, and I'm waiting to go to court at the moment to try and get it reinstated under the support group.
Julie has fibromyalgia and 3 herniated discs in her neck, a condition she says is only getting worse. Due to chronic pain, she has also developed a sleep disorder and depression.
We're struggling at the moment because we're about £400 down a month compared to what we normally are, and I just wanted to sort of make you aware that I will be paying, but it's probably going to be in dribs and drabs, so we just don't want to get into trouble like we did, for not paying it on time. Anyone who could turn around and say to me that I'm too lazy to work and had to go through what I've had to go through to try and get what I believe is rightfully mine, they just haven't got a clue. They really haven't got a clue, and it's not just me, there's so many of us going through it right now, and it's humiliating.
Conditions for claiming job seekers allowance have been getting stricter just as more vulnerable people are being moved on to it. Richard Sykes is a main carer for his wife, who has severe asthma and arthritis, and the couple have custody of their grandchild. When she was declared fit for work, they had to make a joint claim for job seekers allowance. Rick has since been referred to the work programme and has struggled to combine his job-seeking commitments with caring for his wife and grandchild.
On the bad days, my wife can't get him dressed because she can't fasten the buttons up, so I have to sort of like get him up, get him dressed, get him ready for school, take him down to the bus stop. I tend to do most of the cooking and anything that involves her hands because she can't use them.
Rick went on to miss 2 appointments due to medical emergencies with his wife. Their joint benefit was stopped for a month as a sanction.
That £105 a week is our survival money. It's what we got to live off. It pays our electric and it gets us food. I've got £3.99, as you can see there, on the electric meter. That will probably see me through till Monday at the latest. So come Monday, I've got no electric, and I've still got a minimum of a week and a half before I get paid. You know, food-wise, thankfully for the father-in-law, we've got a few tins of beans and that to keep us going, but that's got to last us 2 weeks, 3 people. And like I say, we're lucky. Some people haven't even got that. But come Monday, we won't have the ability to cook it because everything in the house is electric. It's cold, it's just, there's no emotion involved in it. It's just, okay, we'll take away their money. We don't care how you're going to survive. I'm not a thief, but if it comes down to survival, I think you start to think about doing things that you wouldn't normally do.
Over the New Year period, I took an overdose. Something just snapped really. I think I had a little bit of a breakdown. And I can honestly say, it's because of all this, everything. I've got nothing to be unhappy about other than this, really. You know, my health, I can live with that. You know, I'm lucky to be here. There's people worse than me, but this is just...
What do you mean by all this?
Red tape, knowing I've got to go to court again, the lack of help and understanding I've had from certain areas of Job Centre Plus, especially the appeals section, being given duff information, being spoken down to, just not knowing if I'm going to get money ever again. If that happens, what do I do then?
Birkenhead Job Centre was the scene of another suicide attempt last month. The man's motive was unclear, but he was a customer who'd been found fit for work and moved from sickness benefit to job seekers allowance. 3 weeks later, staff across Merseyside are staging a 3-day local strike over plans to move a quarter of their frontline advisors into call centres. They see the fight for their working conditions and the rights of vulnerable benefit claimants as two sides of the same story.
We prided ourselves on the ability to be able to sit down with the client and generally see a case through from start to finish. That is decreasing week on week, month on month. And what we are seeing is some very serious incidents indeed, where people are either attacking members of staff or actually harming themselves. The culture that is engendering within the workplace is one of fear. It's one of desperation from a staff's perspective, but also from a client's perspective as well.
I'm at boiling point. I'm at going postal point, you know. Honestly, it's up to that point now where I want to scream and shout at the top of my voice and nobody's still listening. I'm a positive person. I always try to look on the bright side of life, so to speak. You know, I've always made the best of what I've got, you know. And to be in a situation where I'm losing control of my marbles, so to speak, it's not something that I'm used to and it's not something that I enjoy doing.
It's really, really, really hard to keep going on and fighting all the time, but that's all you can do, really.
Do you worry that there's a risk of you going back to that sort of dark place?
I hope not. You know, who's to say? I didn't expect it to happen last time. You know, when you're just sort of keeping your head, you know, above that horrible dark hole, as it were. And I feel like I'm doing well, but for all I know now, I could go to court and their decision could just plunge me back down again.
A DWP spokesperson said, "It remains rare to find incidents of self-harm where the benefit system is said to have been a factor, but we are not complacent when it comes to ensuring that our staff can provide the right support and help to those affected. We ensure our staff are highly trained and ready to help people, however vulnerable they may be and whatever pressures they face. We have worked hard and continue to do so to improve the way the work capability assessment works for those with mental health issues.